Hello, my friends. It's Emily Wardrop from Drop the Word Life Coaching, and I have the most important message for you today. Do you believe me? Because every message is important, but this really may be one of the most. So today we're going to talk about let him be him, or let her be her, and let you be you. Okay. So we talk a lot about self-compassion, right? That the only way to improve is to accept where you're at, to love yourself through it, and self-compassion, 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 right? So we are humans, we are going to make mistakes, and that's okay. Our children are human and they're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. And the only expectation that we need to have of ourselves, of them, of our husband, of everyone around us, of our in-laws, of our neighbors, is to let them be them. Okay. Your brain's not gonna like this. You're gonna reject this, but hang in there with me and see what you think. Okay. So I was coaching a client yesterday who her son is a teenager, because I usually coach moms of young kids, right? And so we're dealing with toddler issues. So instead we're dealing with teenage issues, like what we were calling eating chocolate, which was code word for smoking pot. But she didn't want her other kids who might be listening to know what she was talking about. So eating chocolate, right? Big deal, right? Maybe that's something that you might be kind of freaking out if your teenager was deciding to experiment with, right? So she wasn't exactly having this idea of just let him be him. Does that mean I'm supposed to let him do that? What other option do you have, mama? I mean, I talk to a lot of moms who are like, yeah, the toddler years, those weren't so bad, but the teenage years, holy, now I need coaching. And I'm like, I need because of the agency thing, right? They're like, oh yeah, when my kids were little, I could control them better. And it was fine. I got it figured out. But now that they've are really asserting their agency, now that they're teenagers, they want this independence. They want to do whatever they want to do, not what I want them to do. I'm like, it sounds exactly like my toddlers. So whether you have teenagers or toddlers, I really believe that they have their own agency already, right? They came down here with it. And the more we can respect their agency and work with it like any other human on this planet, doesn't matter what their age is. Okay. So especially when they're teenagers, especially when they do have the autonomy and the independence to do whatever they want. Like you can set up whatever rules, you can set up whatever boundaries, parameters, anything, limits, and they'll still figure out how to do what they want to do if they want to do it, right? Just like toddlers, because I have rules that they already are capable and don't follow, right? So what are we going to do about that, right? Them doing whatever they're going to do is in our circumstance line. Where we have our power is to figure out what our thoughts and our feelings are about that and how we want to show up. So people always just want me to tell them what to do in their action line. I'm not going to do that. You're the mom. You know best what you should do. But I am going to help you see what thought and feeling is driving that action to decide if that's really the action you want to be taking and if that's the fuel you want to be taking it from. Because you could end up doing the same thing in your action line, but it's going to be a little different if you're coming from love and compassion and curiosity and things like that versus frustration, fear, control, all the things like that, right? So that's where I'm going to help you get is in the love camp. Okay. So it might have been a bit of a tangent. The point is let him be him, right? Okay. So I have a son who's very boy, right? You might even be able to hear him right now. I can. So he really likes to just play fight, he's not mad fighting, but he really just wants to just beat up people, right? He does WWE with dad on the trampoline, right? And that's him. That is not what I would pick. But that's what he needs for whatever reason. And so we just let him be him, right? And of course, I'm going to keep his sister safe if they don't want to be fighting. And I'm going to tell his friends, are you okay with that? Trampoline's right there. So, are you sure you're okay with that? Okay, tell him if it gets too rough. Tell me if I need to get involved, but Otherwise, anyway, I can't control him. Okay, my daughter, she's very into potions. She's like, we're like, why is there a huge mess in the bathroom? Come on, mom, it's science. I'm like, can't argue with science. So she likes to get into my stuff, my lotions and scrubs and anything she can reach to make her potions out of, which is not okay, right? And so, yeah, I can set up limits and I can set up boundaries, but when I come from it out of frustration, irritation, annoyance that she's doing again, getting super mad, then it's just a big explosion. But it's science, not that kind of explosion. But when I'm like, okay, I know she really likes to do this. Let me work with it. Let me find some things that it's okay for her to use. Her birthday's coming up. I got her fun little science experiment kit. Like I want to embrace her, let her be her, right? That's my only expectation of her, is to be her. I know she's going to do it. So when she does it again, I don't get mad that she did it again. I told you a million times not to do this. I'm like, of course she did it, because that's what she wants to do. That's what she's going to do. Okay. And so if it's like a problem, like eating chocolate, then I'm going to need to look more into like why, but there's a lot of things that aren't actually a problem. Like the only problem with her doing the potions is she makes a big mess. So I can help her clean it up. I can just accept she's going to do that and clean it up. Either way, I don't have to do it from frustration, irritation, annoyance, all that, right? Anyway, so let him be him for sure with your husband. He's going to do what he's going to do. You know what he's going to do or not do or whatever. And when we expect anything different, then all we're doing is setting ourselves up for disappointment. So just expect he'll be him, and then he will. And you'll be happily not surprised, right? And you'll know how to handle it because it's not a surprise. You know what's going to happen. So we can manage ourselves around everybody else instead of trying to manage everybody else so that we feel better, because that isn't working, is it, friends? It's very hard to control other people. And we don't want to come from control. We want to come from love, right? So love does not control. And love just loves. And they can feel it. If you love them for them, they know it. If you're expecting them to be somebody else and you get frustrated every single time that they don't meet that expectation, because there's no way that they can be somebody else, they just are them, they know, and they can feel it. And we want to feel love for them because it feels awesome. And we want them to believe us when we tell them that we love them. They're not going to believe us if we don't really, because they're not exactly what we expect. So let's just check our own expectations instead of trying to change them all the time. How's that sound? If that sounds like, whoa, Emily, yeah, right. Let me know so we can chat it out. And I would love to hear about your specifics so that we can have the rubber hit the road. I don't know, some saying was going. Anyway, dropthewordlifecoach.com. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Oh, I didn't never look at what my hair was doing that whole time. What else? I mean, it looks gorgeous. Look at this purple. Love it. It's all very happy today. Did you watch the video about the different shades of purple? All the different emotions? I'm getting closer to getting it all happy, which is not the goal. That's a different video. If you haven't seen it, look it up on YouTube. After I send these to you in your email, I just throw them on YouTube. So if you want to binge some good times, there they are. Okay. Let him be him. Let her be her. Have that be the only expectation you have of them. And all of a sudden, ooh, that'll alleviate a lot of your drama, mama. See ya. Bye.